Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a tutorial using the new coloured Raine Queen of Hearts palette. The packaging is super cute. It comes in like a little uni carton sleeve, and then you've got the palette just like this inside. This is what the colours look like. And you do get a nice mirror in here too, so decent size if you are traveling. You can see your eyes. I feel like they could potentially have made it a little bit bigger, but let's just see how these shadows perform. The colors are stunning. As some of you may know, swatches aren't the best way to tell how a shadow will perform, simply because the oils in your fingers can kind of alter how something swatches. Let me know if you do prefer to see like swatches in these videos, or if you just want to see the shadows, how they perform on the eyes with brushes. But let's just get straight into it. Okay, so I've zoomed you guys in a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. So to prime my eyes today, I'm going to be using Old Faithful, the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. Okay, so I still do unfortunately have eczema on my eyelids. No idea what it is from. So it has been making everything kind of show up a little bit more textured, specifically on this eye. To start, I'm going to go in with this color here called Crown, and I'm going to put that on my inner corner. Oh my gosh, it's pigmented. It's actually really pretty. Oh, this is so pretty. I'm just going to put that color just on my brow as well. Sometimes I like to do the highlight first. And I did have physio earlier today, so if I do have any lines on my face still, that is why. So we've got our brow bone and our inner corner highlight down. The next shade I'm going to go into is this one here called Air. And I'm going to take that as a transition shade. Okay, so we have our transition color down. You can probably see with the eczema on my eyes that this eye is got two creases now, so that's really cool. The next color I'm going to go into is this one here called Royal Prerogative. And I'm gonna pop that color in my crease. Okay, so now it's time for a little pop of color. I'm gonna go in with this color here called Empress, and I'm gonna take that shade on my outer corner. This color is really pigmented. Okay, so I've got that color in the outer corners. And then now I'm going to go in with a colour all across the lid. I'm going to go in with this colour called Your Majesty across the lid. It's so sparkly. These colours are really pigmented. And then I'm just using a fluffy brush again just to blend out the edges. Make sure that's all good to go. Now we're going to go into foundation. The reason I wanted to do my eyes first was because I've actually never used this palette before, and I wasn't sure if there would be a lot of fallout, but it was actually like not really any, which is really cool. This is the first time I've used any eyeshadow or anything from this brand. I also ordered the Safari palette, so let me know if you guys would like to see a tutorial using that one. I did put up a vote on Instagram, and this one here received the most votes. Okay, so to prime my face, I'm going to be using the Smashbox Primer Oil. You only need like a couple drops of this. And I'm going to press into my skin. And for today's foundation, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Peach Perfect. This is in the shade Snow. And I'm going to be applying that with a brush today. Okay, so I've put my foundation on with a brush. I'm just going to use a little beauty sponge just to go over and make sure that's all blended and pushed into the skin. Next up is concealer. So for concealer, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. This one I really like because it's nice and hydrating, but it does give good coverage. I actually forgot how much I love the Peach Perfect foundation. I started using it again the other day. My foundations and things just get like lost in my drawer. I have a few different ones and then I just forget about them and then start using something else. But the Peach Perfect one's really good, especially if you want something like full coverage that's matte but not too matte. And it looks really nice on the skin and lasts a really long time as well. And I'm just gonna pop some more concealer in areas that I want a bit more coverage, like on my chin. And then a little bit across the forehead. And around the nose. Now that we have our foundation and concealer on, I'm just going to set that in place and I'm going to be using the Hourglass Translucent Veil Setting Powder. So I've got my foundation, my concealer, everything is set in place. For highlighter today, I'm going to be using the Fenty Killawatt Highlighter in the Mean Money and Hustler Baby shade. Just applying this highlighter just to my cheekbones, and then I'm going to use a separate one to kind of amp it up and then also go over like the bridge of my nose and my cupid's bow. For the rest of my face and to brighten up this highlight a little bit more, I'm going to be using one of my favorites, which is the Dior Backstage Glow Face Palette, and I love to use the gold and the white shade in here. For bronzer today, I'm going to be using one that I actually haven't used in a while. This is one of my favorites, but I always seem to just use the same thing, so I like to mix it up and kind of grab different things out of my drawers. So this one here is the Marc Jacobs Tantastic Omega Bronzer, and I'm using my favorite bronzing brush. The reason I love this bronzer so much is because it just blends beautifully and it smells so good. The smell just makes me happy. It smells like summer, coconut. They actually brought that bronzer back as permanent now. So the only difference is that this has a rose gold clasp and the new one I think is just silver, like their regular bronzer. So today for blush, I'm going to use Sephora and Marvel Captain America blush. It just looks like this. I'm still obsessed with that Marvel and Sephora collection. I think it's so cool. Like, I'm addicted to the packaging. I actually kept all of the boxes that it came in, which I know seems really silly because it's just cardboard, but I don't care. For brows today, I'm going to be filling my brows in with the Benefit Precisely My Brow, and I like to use the shade 4.5. So I've got my brows on. To set them in place, I'm going to be using the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. This is like super glue for your brows. So if you have really crazy unruly brows or their hairs kind of go straight down, this is a really great one to set them with. Okay, so I've got my brows done. Now let's come back to our eyes. So I'm going to add some color to the lower lash line. And I'm thinking I want to do this color here called Lady Shit. This one here is like super bright and I think would be a really nice pop of color for the under eye. So I'm just taking this brush from Real Techniques. It is a base shadow brush and I'm using this just to diffuse the edges underneath and kind of around. Okay, so I'm gonna do some liner, mascara and lashes off camera and I'll be right back to show you how it looks. So I'm back. I actually decided not to put lashes on. I think that with this look, that looks really nice with just liner and mascara. I think that the lashes would have covered up a lot of the eyeshadow on the top. So all that is left is to do our lips. So for lipstick today, I'm gonna be using this Marc Jacobs one called Just Peachy. And this is a really like bronzy sort of nude shade. I've applied a little bit to my lips and then I'm just going to take a brush and kind of feather across the edges. I want the lips to still look pretty natural. And then I'm gonna pop on a nude gloss on top just to tone down the lip a little bit. To set my face today, I've used the Cover FX Dewy Finish Setting Spray. This one here is one of my all-time favorites, along with the Glam Glow Setting Spray. And there's actually a new one out from Becca that I'm really curious to try. Okay, so that is the end of the tutorial. This palette I think is definitely worth the money, especially if you love wearing like warmer shades but you want like a few pops of color in there. They are pigmented, they blend really easily, and I'm actually obsessed with how this eyeshadow turned out. I think it is super pretty. Those metallic shades are super foiled, and I didn't even have to use them wet, so if you use them wet that would make them even more like molten and metallic. But this is a big yes from me, and I'll definitely be using it again. Please let me know if you want to see a look using the Safari palette, or if you want me to use some more of like the bright colors in here, or if you want to see like a neutral, just easy everyday eye with this palette. When I first saw it, I was immediately drawn to like those beautiful sort of berry shades, which I have only done a little pop of color today under my lower lash line with. But yeah, hit me up in the comment section down below if you would like to see another look. I have been posting 2 videos a week, so Mondays and Fridays. Make sure to like and subscribe before you leave. My Instagram is linked down below, so feel free to follow me on there to see what I'm up to. I post almost every day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!